Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of Conversations with Corinne. Today, I am joined by four-time NCAA Division I champion in track and field, professional Nike athlete, and Puerto Rican athlete, Ayden Owens-Delerme. Continue listening to hear him speak about his journey of growth through the years in track and field, his biggest takeaways from track and field that are meaningful and helpful for everyone, his reasons and inspiration for creating a name, image, and likeness platform software called DAPUP, how he wishes to make an impact on his mother country with his representation of Puerto Rico in competitions, and his thoughts on gender parity in the Olympics with regards to the women's decathlon. Hello, everyone. I'm here with NCAA champion in the heptathlon and decathlon, NIL platform creator, and Puerto Rican athlete, and ex-Arkansas athlete, Ayden Owens-Delerme. Welcome.
Thank you, Corinne. I'm so happy and, honored to be on this platform. So excited to have a conversation with you.
Yep, thank you for coming on. So, how did you get involved with track and field and the multi-events?
So, I grew up not far from yourself, competed in, Three Rivers Association track and field, USATF in a small club called Nadaya Track Club. Our clubs competed against each other, so I think it's fun, hometown Pittsburgh roots. But so that's where I started. I started really at Nadaya Track Club, had great coaches who saw my talent early on, who realized that I was really too restless to compete in one event. I was always jumping all over the track and doing different things. And they were like, we're gonna put you in the multi-events, put you in the pentathlon. So I did my first multi-event in 2012, or when I was 12 years old. And so I ended up going on to the Junior Olympics and competing there. And ever since I've been in the game, just stayed in it, realized that was the niche that I enjoyed most, and challenged myself with the multi-events. And so it was when my coach realized that, I was good at a lot of things, and the event sort of found me. But I was grateful to have a great coach who pushed me towards something that I could find success in. And that's sort of how I found the pentathlon. And then that turned into the decathlon when I reached high school. And here I am now, sort of competing as, professional athlete in the space. So.
Yeah, awesome. I feel like that's how a lot of people get involved with the multi-events, like dabbling in a little bit of everything whenever they're young, and then they realize that they love everything and can't give up everything that they've been training for all their life, and then they're like, I'm just gonna do it all. So
absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. So you've been doing track for basically your whole entire life, and I'm sure you learned a few things here and there. So what is one or two things you've learned from the sport of track and field that has made a positive impact on your life?
I would say, there's a million things, any athlete can sort of take away from their experiences, whether that's competing, whether that's training, or the injuries that you've endured, or, some of the victories that you reach in the game, in the sport. But me personally, there's been, like you said, millions of lessons, but some of the biggest takeaways I've gathered throughout my, I think I've been in the game 15 years of doing track and field, is I think it might sound cliche, but really like beginning to fall in love with the process. Throughout the years, I don't know if I've been to several universities. I started out at University of Southern Cal, transferred to Michigan, finished off at Arkansas with my master's degree. But throughout the years, I had coaches who all sort of imparted on me the wisdom of like really teaching me to appreciate the steps towards greatness. And so I was grateful for those coaches who showed me along my journey, which was, up and down, what really I should focus on in order to become great. And becoming great wasn't what you achieved. There wasn't the medal that, you were after, but really what was what you did on a daily basis. So I would say whenever I began to fall in love with the sport of track and field, not competing, but like the day in, day out grind, the dealing with overcoming of the injuries and assigning value in that just on a daily basis, fighting my internal battles of dealing with this pain or this fatigue or this tiredness or my lack of motivation. So I would say it was in learning that, because it's a valuable tool for life. And so that's the biggest lesson I've probably taken away. And I give thanks also to former world record holder and Olympic champion Ashton Eaton for sort of helping impart some of that wisdom upon me, and focusing not on the end result, but more so the process towards getting there.
Yeah, I feel like that's so important with any athlete. That's not just a you thing, that's everybody. So absolutely. You sharing that will definitely impact a lot of people. So thank you.
for sure.
And I know you created an NIL platform called DAPUP. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and your inspiration and motivation behind creating it?
Definitely, yeah. So when I was at the University of Arkansas, I was doing my master's in business administration at their College of Business there,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, when I was an undergraduate student prior to Arkansas, name, image, and likeness wasn't legalized, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
a thing. People
very new.
the only thing we heard about was that if you broke the rules, you could be removed from the institution or lose your scholarship. And so these are things that we had to be concerned about when I was an undergraduate. And so yeah, and all of a sudden, boom, I graduate and I end up finishing my eligibility up at Arkansas, and the switch flipped and like the world changed overnight, and it was like it was legal and you could go make thousands, millions,
Yeah,
however much money you wanted through name, image, and likeness. And so when I saw that, I realized that there was these sort of common issues that a lot of these athletes and my friends of mine were running into, and these name, image, and likeness deals. They're asking me, "Oh, how are you getting all these opportunities and deals? Um, what are you doing for it?" And so I sort of took it upon myself to eliminate some of the friction that was existing between local businesses and athletes, and serve as the liaison. And so I created this platform called DAP which connects local businesses with college athletes for marketing
mhm.
campaigns and endorsements. So yeah, for athletes, it's really meant to simplify their lives. It sort of operates sort of like a dating app for NIL. We're creating these
Yeah,
valuable connections with businesses, and businesses are able to use it as a marketing resource for them and to find athletes to do campaigns with them. So yeah, that's what I created, and I'm excited to get it out in front of people here soon.
yeah, that's so awesome. So is that like still in the works of
Yeah,
being dispersed to everybody?
absolutely. So, yeah, we launched our MVP, our sort of our first beta last fall before I left for the World Championships. And right now we're updating our technology. It's a software company, so it takes steps to build the tech that you really need to compete
Yeah,
in the space. So, and that's where we are. We're building our version 1, and we're excited to get it out there, and
yeah,
it'll be in the works.
that's so awesome.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So I know you're representing Puerto Rico in track and field. How does it feel to represent your heritage and your roots? And how do you want to make an impact on Puerto Rico with your performances?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I've been representing Puerto Rico since high school, when I went to World U20 Championships. But obviously, growing up Puerto Rican, I always felt connected to my heritage, and you know, um, to wanted to sort of bring pride to a small island, from which my family comes from, and so that to me was an important decision. And so here I am now living in my motherland and training, and um, pushing towards my goal for the Olympic Games here in Paris. But really, the impact that I wish to have is um, I've been blessed with the opportunity to have talents in track and field and to be able to represent Puerto Rico. That's a unique opportunity that I've been granted. And so I think to sort of give back, it's to connect with the youth and to help other kids and athletes find their path towards whatever it is that they wish to pursue. So I've been hosting clinics here on the island for
Wow.
4 years straight now. This year coming up will be my fifth annual clinic that I put on in track and field, for local kids, and we've done them free entry, and we've impacted probably over several hundred athletes at this point, who've passed through the clinic that I put on alongside one of my coaches. And so yeah, that's the impact that I wish to have. Just
Yeah,
uplift and elevate the youth who's going to fill the positions after I'm gone.
yeah, that's wonderful. Giving back to
Mm,
your community and using your talents to do that. It's awesome.
definitely.
So what has your journey been like in the sport of track and field to get you to where you are now? And what are your goals for the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a I like to say it's been a steady rise, but there's obviously parts that are up and down that are bumpy. But
Yeah,
started out obviously in Western PA where I grew up, end up going to USC, like I said, transferred to Michigan, getting my bachelor's degree, and transferred to Arkansas, where I really took me 4 years to win my first NCAA championship. Even though as a freshman, I was actually ranked the number one freshman in the country in the decathlon. I ended up no hiding at the NCAA championships in 2019, took me out of the comp.
oh,
But it took me 3 more years, so until my senior year,
yeah,
to actually win and call myself a national champion. So it's been definitely a lot of trials and tribulations between there. And so here I am now. I've won a few NCAA championships, three to be exact. Um, one as a team, one in the 4x4 relay, and then one in the heptathlon, and then one, of course, in the decathlon. So technically, I guess 4 overall if you count the team one.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, my journey's just looked like after I graduated, it's been my full focus has been on the Paris Games. So I've
Yeah.
decided to take the shot to move down here in Puerto Rico and bring my coach down here and try to fulfill my childhood dream. So I would say that's been my journey, and that's really all I'm focused on.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
Mhm.
you still have more time, but I know you're ready to go now. And I know you've been preparing for basically your whole life, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
So you got it, and I'm wishing you the best of luck with that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. So last question. So for a little bit of background, women have been barred from competing in the decathlon at the collegiate and Olympic level, but men have been allowed to for a while now. What are your thoughts on gender parity in the Olympics with respect to the women's decathlon?
Yeah, no, it's not an area of it's not really an area that I have much knowledge or
Right.
expertise in, or I've looked
Hmm.
into that much. But I'm aware that obviously you're a decathlete. You perform, the 10 events, which I commend you for. It's definitely not an easy feat as a fellow decathlete. And I love what's going on. I know that you competed in a big women's decathlon competition this past year,
Hmm.
so I was able to watch that and see some of the results there. But I think that in any situation where there's a conglomerate of people pushing towards trying to get this as you call it, gender parity in an event, and there's demand for this women's decathlon. I think that people should listen to it
Yeah.
naturally, because people are sort of asking and demanding that it exists. So I think it's those who are sort of in charge or in power, ought to give you guys a platform to be able to express that and make that a reality if there's the demand for it. So
Yeah.
I would say I commend all you guys for the work you're doing, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I
Yeah.
just love to see more people competing in the multi events, whether that's the heptathlon
Mhm.
in the future. If
Right.
that's the decathlon, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Thank
Mhm.
you so much. And thank you for all of your wonderful insights on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I know you'll have influence on many people, whether that be people in Puerto Rico with your camps or your new NIL platform, DAP Up. So
Mhm.
wonderful. You're doing wonderful things. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate that, and thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Ayden and got something valuable out of it. Also, if you're a college student athlete, I encourage you to use DAPUP to match with brands and make brand deals. Follow DAPUP on Instagram and be on the lookout for the day that it launches to everyone. Your NIL game will be so much better with DAPUP. All right, I'll see you on the next episode of Conversations with Corinne.